this is my section. Out of all of us, only he didn't get injured. Yeah, everyone took shrapnel from that day.
When he was 22, Bruce Moncur went to Afghanistan. He remembers the deadly fire just 3 weeks into his deployment. Bruce was shot 3 times.
Immediately, I lost consciousness, and when I regained consciousness, this right arm was flopping out of like a fish out of water. And essentially, I grabbed it, and I tried to regain control of it, and I did. And I checked my other arm, I checked my legs, and I let out this sigh of relief. And that was when the blood started pouring down from my head. And my immediate reaction was to try and catch it, right? Try to catch the blood. And it was at the time, it took me maybe about a handful of, my own blood before I realized, what am I doing? I can't save this. And it was, I just remember distinctly when I came to the realization that this blood was no longer any use to me, and I let it hit the Afghan sand. I can still see the blood in the sand kind of like coagulating into a pile.
Bruce lost 5% of his brain, and he had to relearn how to walk, talk, and read. He still suffers from short-term memory loss. Bruce relied on this Windsor Center for rehabilitation and counseling.
To take that service away from me is an injustice to me, an injustice to the service that I did to this country. If I'd have known how I would have been treated and how I would have been, just discarded like a piece of trash, I would have never even signed up for Afghanistan.
It took over 2 hours for Bruce to get to the Service Canada location here in London. Veterans in Windsor now have the option of coming here to get the help they need. But Bruce says the cost and the travel time make it an inconvenient option that he won't be using again anytime soon.
Regarding the closures, Prime Minister Stephen Harper said, "There are a small number of service centers that are being closed that frankly service very few people, had very few visits. That's being replaced with 600 service centers across the country." London MP Irene Matheson says the Conservatives are clawing back money from those Canadians who are the most vulnerable.
And when they talk about the balancing of the budget, they won't tell you that there was a great human cost to it, and that they should be ashamed.
Over at the Lambeth Legion, Gary MacDonald says that even though the vets are done fighting overseas, their individual battle continues.
That's what we need the counselors there for. That's what we need them there today, not an appointment 3 weeks from now.
Back in Windsor, Bruce says his family has been the only support system he can count on. It's small moments like watching movies with his brother that help him forget his troubles. He says he will continue to fight for changes within the system.
And, going forward and letting this government know that we're no longer going to be used and forgotten all the time. You've seen it.
Bruce says he wants to use his experience to help other veterans who will be affected by these closures. For Western News, I'm Asymina Kantorowicz.